Welcome to She Sells Radio. We have part two for you today of Wealthy and Worthy. If you didn't listen to our last episode, you can go back and start there. This is a training we wanted to bring you from a live event we did recently. And it is all based on the premise and my belief that your level of income will never exceed your level of self-worth. So when we do the work to shift our self-concept, to close the gaps where we don't feel worthy of what we desire. And we start to look at ourselves differently as someone who is naturally abundant, prosperous, successful, in demand, magnetizing clients. Then we start to experience a different result in our business and in our sales as well. And so last week, we shared part one, which was a deep dive training I did on worthiness. And today we're going to share part two, which is all about money and abundance and wealth consciousness, which is one of my favorite topics to teach. So I think you'll get a lot out of this. We did cut out a part that we just taught for the attendees who were there live on seven figure energetics. So you'll hear that part cut out. At least you will if we edited it appropriately. I think you'll hear it cut out. And but the rest of it is phenomenal. You're going to get a lot out of it, and you're going to hopefully see and shift quickly some areas where you may have been unconsciously blocking the flow of money, abundance, opportunities, and wealth into your life. So with that, let's get into the episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Oh, thank you all so much for being on time. I so appreciate that. How is everyone today? I see Bridget. I see Debbie with your beautiful pink. Cindy. Who else do we have on? Michelle, Karen, Miranda, Kayla, Angela. Oh my gosh. So good to see everyone. Come on in. Come on in. We've got cute babies in the house on Kayla's end. I don't know if y'all are looking at the video, but look at this little face. Oh my gosh. I told her, I was like, just show the babies. We don't even need to talk about anything else today, right? So, so sweet. Give me just a second. Okay, looks like, so Kayla, it looks like the waiting room is still, I don't know, it looks like it's locked, but if you can manage it, that's super duper helpful. But hello, everyone. Hello, Sarah. I see Charles in the waiting room. Corey's here. So, okay, so many things to cover today, so many good things to cover. We have power, so that's like check, that's done. Voice is still recovering a bit, so I'm gonna be drinking some tea while we go. But I want to start with takeaways from yesterday. I know we covered a lot. I also know sometimes having like a day to just let things sit and integrate, there can be some awarenesses. Angela, loved what you shared yesterday at the end of the day about what showed up for you. I was thinking about that this morning. But who wants to share? You can either type in the chat or you can raise your Zoom hand because I'd really love to hear. Torald, yeah, let's have you go.
Hi, Elise. Yeah,
Hi.
yesterday was so brilliant. And also today I listened to your podcast that you did around the same theme, and I really love that. And I
Yeah.
realized, I think especially today after I'd listened to the podcast, that things that I thought I had healed, coming from Norway, where we have this, in Norway and Sweden, we have this sort of unwritten law that we call the law of Jante. And it basically means that you should not believe you are anything bigger or better than anyone else. And
Mm,
this is so sort of ingrained in all of us. And although I lived in the UK for nearly 30 years, where it's very different, I realized when I listened to you yesterday and today that gosh, this really still is part of, who I am. And so sort of it's still there. And I really, really realized I have still some work to do around this. So this is such a good timing. And I feel like, yes, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, welcome in.
yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I worked with a client years ago, and where was he from? Sweden, I believe. And he talked about it was like tall poppy syndrome, like the same type of thing. And here's the thing with it though, like everything we're talking about, It's not actually about you being better than anybody. And I know you know this, but for someone who's not as deep in the work as you are, they may think that's what we're talking about. It's not. It's
Mm.
because that's still competition. That's still comparison. That's still separation. What we're talking about here is for each of you living into that fullest potential of who you are financially, career wise, life wise, personally, and allowing yourself to do that, realizing it doesn't diminish anything from anyone else. And in fact, it'll inspire
Yeah.
others around you to also rise up. So, really good awareness. Yeah, I love it. And welcome to everyone who's just popped on. We're doing takeaways from yesterday. So, I'd love to hear, and you can type in the chat or you can raise your Zoom hand because I'd love to hear. Debbie, okay, I see Debbie and then Angela. Perfect. And you're muted, Debbie. All good.
I was just noticing yesterday when you were talking about creativity and abundance. Really loved that. It was in the second part yesterday. And I was thinking about my own brand, how much we work with that, myself as a coach and my clients. And it was on a call with someone yesterday. She had listed out all the great stuff around her creativity beliefs and her abundance, and she said, but, and then on the other side she just put this humdinger, but it was like this belief, and I'm like, we have to go get that out of there, so
Mm,
that the only thing you have is this to focus on. It's like a bee in the room. There's so much in the room, but if you're worried about being stung, it's going to take away from your focus. And then I like felt it and went, oh, I need to go and look into my abundance thinking and realize, do I have like one little flying bug that it is zapping my energy? Because
mm,
I think of it as like quantity and quality over, you know, old and tiny, but it could be a big zapper. So
oh,
that
yeah.
that was a big takeaway, is if you're going to live into a fullness of creativity and abundance, you can't just find new beliefs. You have to eradicate anything that could be buzzing
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and the way that I approach that too is because obviously, you're in our program. So we do a lot of limiting belief work. The way I think about it is we don't need to go like spelunking, right? For anyone who's done that. I'm claustrophobic and yet I did it years ago. I probably nothing I'd ever do again. But if you don't know what it is, it's like cave crawling. So you go through the cave. And you put on your hard hat and yeah, yeah, I know exactly. I had the exact same reaction. So we don't need to do that necessarily to try to find any and all limiting beliefs. But to your point, if we are like, I have found they will come up naturally when it's time to release and resolve them. And we can tell there's stuff coming up when we're consistently going for something and there's a block. We're, again, taking the right tactical actions, but we're not getting the results we're looking for. And so I think just that awareness of, okay, there's something that now is ready for me to shift, clear, rearrange, drop. And it's just a way of thinking that is optional, that you can find a more elevated way of thinking that empowers you for what you want. So, yeah, beautiful. I love it. Well said. Let's do one more. Angela, let's have you go.
Hey, I just
Hey.
wanted to follow up on everything I had awarenesses around yesterday.
Yeah.
That's all right. And I was able to do a ton of work with, I had a 5-year-old all the way through a 47-year-old
Mm,
who needed updating on self-worth. And kind of the common theme was we or they had been letting the world dictate worth
mm,
and seeing it reflected back from the people who were in authority. And I came of age in the 80s, so a lot of that was men. Um, and we decided we need to kick that out.
mm.
Um, Replaced it with some really great energy. I also learned as of yesterday, my financial set point, which
Oh,
I did not know. It was just like you said, about what I make.
yep, it is.
And then was able, the work that I did changed all of that, and it's now exponentially higher, which is amazing. And that took like half an hour. All of that was amazing. Yeah. So thank you for all those awarenesses.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. We're going to talk a lot today about money. So for any of you who are like, financial set point, how do I shift that? What does that look like? That's a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. Let's see here, Bridget. Just want to say yesterday was perfectly timed with Cubs. Full moon energy. Yep. Oh, good. You released a lot. Good, good, good. I am super proud of you for that. That's brilliant. Welcome also to everyone who's just been hopping on. Jill, I love seeing your sweet little here with us. So good. If you all can be on camera, come be on camera. I love engaging. We love seeing you. If you can't be on camera, it's okay. We're so glad you're here. So, um, yesterday, I had one more piece around worthiness that oh, I'm sorry. I just got so distracted by a baby. Stop it. Oh my gosh, Declan, you're so sweet. Okay. Getting refocused. I had one more piece around worthiness that we didn't talk about, but actually I went to bed last night and I woke up and I was like, this piece is huge. We should absolutely be talking about this. So I want to lay the foundation here with one more piece on worthiness, and then we'll talk money. We're going to do the secret lesson on 7-figure energetics for all of you who are here live. So yay. Good job on being here live. So we will cut that out of the replay. So you only get it when you're here live for it. We'll talk about some cool opportunities we've got coming up. And then we also should have time for some open coaching at the end. I also just took a walk with my dog in the crazy wind, and I'm realizing that my hair is a little different than I would probably style it normally for a Zoom. But we're here and it's all good. And I'm excited to be here with you. So let's talk about worthiness. The one other piece where I see this tremendously impacting people, and I actually just had a conversation on the podcast today with someone about it, is the ability to be fully yourself in your sales, in your business process, and feel like you can be successful as who you are, rather than having to show up and be performative, put on a front, feel like you have to be all things to all people. So I don't know who here can relate. Like, I'll just say so candidly, a lot of my journey in especially early 20s through late 20s, I was so uncomfortable with being me. And in business, I had developed a bit of a persona of like, I was like high producer, high performer, like first to the office, last to leave at night, like doing all the things, getting the awards. And I felt, and inside, I didn't feel like that woman. And part of what was how they were like teaching us to sell in ways that felt sometimes honestly not ethical. Other times it was just more like it felt pushy or it didn't feel right to me. But that was what was espoused. That was what was taught. That was what was recommended. And that was what the other top performers were doing. So I came in like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and just tried to kind of follow along. But there was a huge gap between how I was presenting on the outside and who I was feeling like on the inside. So anyone been there, done that, got the t-shirt, you get it? Corey, good. Oh, yeah. Somebody's curious about my abilities. Well, that's exactly what we're here for, right? Because again, like you validating you and your abilities and remembering, as my friend Rory Baden says, your calling is someone else's signal. Like the fact that you feel called to do this work means there are people who need to hire you, not anyone else on this call, not me, that there are clients out there waiting to hire you. And you know that because you have the desire to launch this. But so again, this is the work, right? This is what we're talking about. So it's been a journey for me to close that gap. And it's been doing a lot of the work that we've been talking about here. But I can say wholeheartedly now, like I am fully myself. Like what you see is what you get in the sales and business process. And I'm not attached to whether any of you like it or not. I hope that you do. I hope we have a great time together. I hope I'm able to provide a lot of value, but it has no bearing. Like I don't have to show up as someone else to try to get business results anymore. So some things that I would say, Debbie, I had a whole decade of agony. Lisa's program makes sales fun. Thank you. That is the goal. Let's talk about, how do you know if you're in this energy and if this is a worthiness block or gap that you're struggling with? Number one, are you really attached to whether clients buy from you or not? Right? Like, how many of us have been there? You go on the sales call and you're like, I hope they buy, right? Like, this is going to make or break. And again, that's a lot of what's taught. Like, if you don't close the sale on the call, you're failing, you're not succeeding, et cetera. If this one person doesn't buy from you, total scarcity mindset. And so something that's been so powerful to learn about selling is you get to be attached to the what, but not the who or the how. What do I mean by that? You get to be completely committed to your goal. You get to say, I am making X per month. I'm achieving these goals. For those of you who are entrepreneurs or want to grow your brand, I'm speaking on these stages. I'm launching this business. I'm doing this thing. But we don't get to micromanage who is our customer and how the money comes in. So the neuroscience behind this, and this is part of why we lay the foundation of our programs on helping you rewire your brain and your identity to where the results that you want actually get programmed into your subconscious mind. Because once it's there, it's literally just a matter of time. So if you talk about the neuroscience of this, once your brain has accepted an idea, and we know it's accepted an idea because we can think about it, even though it hasn't happened yet in our world, but we can think about it and it feels natural. It feels normal. It feels like, and of course, it feels like, okay, it's just a matter of time. Once that has happened, and that also gets to be a process, right? So we don't make ourselves wrong if we don't create a new self-concept and identity right away. It's a process. But once that's happened, the whole function of the subconscious mind is to make the belief systems a reality. So as you do this work and you start aligning yourself with the frequency of $10,000 months, $50,000 months, $100,000 months, and you follow the actions, right? And you show up. If you're on a sales call with someone and you think it's going to be a slam dunk and they don't buy, it's not a big deal because your goals are accomplished no matter what. So when we stop making clients source and stop making it mean something about our success, if one client doesn't buy from us, then we're open to it. It's this concept I call abundance selling. We open ourselves up to abundance selling, where when you're in a sales conversation, your energy is lean back, right? Some of you have implemented that and worked on that from our programs. You're in lean back energy rather than gripping. You got to buy from me. So if we can lean back and really evaluate and listen to what's going on for them, evaluate, are they as good of a client for us as we are a service provider for them? If we're a service provider, it's from that place that sales can flow, that clients can flow, but we're not gripping or micromanaging the process. Does that make sense? So there's a great level of power in knowing how to install the belief systems and install the programs about, this is who I am. This is how much I make every month. These are the types of clients I work with, because then from that place, we don't have to micromanage any of the process. Cindy, beautiful. So glad that you're here. Akil, glad that makes sense. So that's one piece. Another symptom on the worthiness side is feeling less than your clients. Do you feel less than somebody when you're sitting on a sales call? I used to get on a sales call with someone and I'd feel like they were way up here and I was down here. And that's not the case. So we're partners, right? And all of this is just, it's energetically checking in. Do you feel that when you're talking with clients? Do you feel you have to be everything to everyone and be performative for people? Obviously, we're always giving our best service and we're always doing our very best, but you're not meant to be all things to all people. So it's just like yesterday when I was like, look, if you want to come in and make a lot more money, that's my jam. I'd love to help you with that. If you want someone to be a financial advisor and teach you how to multiply it, that's not my jam. I'm going to refer you to someone else. So just being clear on who you are, what you're about, that you don't have to perform for anyone. And it's really this energy of, it's an unapologetic type of energy. I don't know if you all can relate to that, but it's where you so own your worth and your value because you've done this inner work that you can easily say to someone, yes, I do think you should do this, and say it in integrity. No, I don't think you should do this, and say it in integrity because you have abundance mindset. And from that place, we can sell more powerfully, we achieve our goals more powerfully, we serve more powerfully. Are you all with me here? So it's when we are so solid in who we are, our own gifts, our own value, that we don't feel like we have to convince or perform or twist the truth. Like again, like a lot of stuff was just taught early on in the sales companies I was a part of, and it never felt right. So I really want to shift that culture. Okay. So there's that. Oh, another piece, another way that you know is, are you focused on the outcome of everything you do rather than the process? So for example, when you put out a social post, are you really highly concerned about what other people are going to think about it? Right? Are we really highly concerned? Or are you running a sales call? And just like we talked about, you're really concerned about, are they going to buy? Are they not? This is all okay. A lot of this is just, it's the way the human mind can work. But when you do the work to instill such a sense of self-worth in yourself that all that you care about is, am I putting out my best? Am I sharing from the heart? Am I doing my very best here? It doesn't matter so much about what others are doing or reacting. Karen, I'm too concerned about what I'm posting. I'm trying to be more strategic. Yeah. And it's such a good awareness, right? But what I will say is your business will flourish in new ways when what you were doing is soul inspired and it's like, I like this post. I felt like I feel connected here. Like what I'm putting out inspires me. This speaks to me. So I pay attention to things like that when I'm posting. It's like, what would I love to offer through this? And this is also where we can actually tie in masculine and feminine energetics. So the podcast interview that I shared with you earlier that I did this morning, it was actually interviewing a male client of mine who just recently launched his first book. And he brought up how much the masculine and feminine helped him. And I was like, this is a really cool dialogue to have, especially with a guy. And we were talking about how so much of what our focus is on in not just the business world, but our lives, it's all about results, right? How much money is in the bank? How much how much revenue did the company make this month? What's the number on the scale? Am I married? Am I not? It's all like the end result. And that is masculine energy. Masculine is the destination. It's the goal. It's focused, which is great. We need results. We want results. Obviously, that's what we're doing this for. But the feminine is actually about the process, the journey, and it's about the experience. And I think there's hopefully a rising up a bit in our culture where people are focusing more on that in addition to the outcome. And I had a really a beautiful moment hearing about, so my son Jack is almost 4 and he's in Montessori school. And they were talking about when kids do art in school and they bring it to the teachers, what would a lot of people say? Like, oh, that's beautiful, or oh, that's so great, that looks so good. But instead, what the teachers ask is, how was it for you to make that? What was that experience like for you? And I thought, oh my God, if we had all been taught to actually think about what it was like for us to be in the process of what we're creating and to put our pride and our energy into that, the results are going to take care of themselves. So this is the law of cause and effect, right? So for every effect, there is a cause, and we get it messed up because we focus just on the effect and we forget about what would the cause be for that, right? But so let's say that you're an entrepreneur and you want to hit 7 figures this year, whatever the number is. It's like, stop focusing so much on that and instead focus on, well, what would the cause be of that? Who would I need to be? What thoughts would I need to think? What feelings would I be feeling? What actions would I be taking? And when we can put our focus on that, the results are going to naturally manifest for themselves.
Now, whether it's on our exact timeline or not, again, we don't get to control that. So that's another thing we don't get to control. However, if we are open and we stay committed and focused, it is literally just a matter of time. And I've had some goals take longer than I thought. I've had some goals take way faster than I thought. And so again, it's when we use these rules and these laws and we know how to focus our mind towards what we want, it is just a matter of time until you achieve your goals. So you'd have to open up to extending the timeline there. So let's see, is there anything? I'm like, man, we got so much to cover about money. Let me ask, are there questions on this before we get into some of the money piece? Debbie's saying, I coached more men than women for a long time, learn how they think. Yeah. Beautiful. Jill, I used to be checking my posts regularly, but now I just post and let it go. Good for you. Good for you. You've learned. So this is why we do so much of the work on the identity piece with our clients. And there's an exercise that we start with called new personality versus old personality. And one thing that I'll say here, so Joe Dispenza has a great quote where he says, your personality creates your personal reality. So if we want to create a new personal reality, we literally do need to become someone else. Now, sometimes people can hear that and they'll say, oh, well, but I don't want to become a new person, right? I don't want to lose all these great things about myself. And that's not what I'm saying at all here. So when we're working with clients and we use a spreadsheet, you can use whatever tool you like, but we list out what are the thoughts, feelings, and actions of someone who has this end result accomplished. So that's new personality. And then the old personality is, well, let me just gain some awareness to see what are the thoughts, feelings, and actions that I'm having now that I wouldn't be having if I was there. And it's not about stripping away parts of yourself that you like or that you love, but it's really about leaving behind the perceived limitations, the old habitual patterns, the procrastination, the self-doubt, the self-sabotage, the not enoughness, the lack, the scarcity. Those are the pieces that we want to have go with the old personality so that you can be the person who naturally and easily accomplishes your goals. Penny, that one is spot on. Yeah. And that's what's beautiful about this work. And also, I know like you're in this work and you're doing it every day. It's this massive self-awareness, right? Like we can literally, within the laws of the universe, we can be and do and have whatever we want. And this is where people get manifestation messed up, right? You've heard me talk about this. We don't get what we want, we get what we are. So we have to become it if we want it, being the best version of ourselves. Yeah, 100%. Debbie, let me do this. That's a great question. I'm timing everything and I'm going to keep moving, but if there's time at the end for coaching, bring that back up, the law of cause and effect, and I can speak more to that and maybe to like your specific scenario as well. So,
you just
okay.
answered really nicely. Thank you.
Good. Oh, good, good. You're so welcome. All right. Money and wealth energetics. Let's talk through this. So let me just ask too, before we get into this. So I'm going to do a high level lesson, then I'm going to do a secret lesson. So everyone who watches the replay will get the high level lesson. Only you all will get the secret lesson. What specific questions do you have on this? Type it in the chat. I have content prepared, but what specifically I like to try to customize as much as I can, especially with the people who are here live. I want to really honor what you're here for. So if you have specific questions about money, wealth consciousness, money mindset, achieving a certain income goal, I can aim to gear things towards this. Explain money. I have my understanding, but is it right? Okay. We'll explain money from an energetic perspective today. Beautiful. Anyone else? I'm seeing some typing. How can we connect to wealth when it's not in the 3D reality? Oh, well, we always create twice, right? By the way, Sonia, I'm so glad you're here. It's so great to see you. Debbie, what does a goddess think as she builds wealth? Yep. Very unapologetic energy. Like, yes, this is happening. Corey, I'm so literal. I was always taught to question everything. How do you change your mind and truly believe when it isn't in front of you? Okay. Yeah. You study how this works. You study you study quantum physics. You understand how things are created. You understand that everything is created twice, first in our mind and energetically, and then your world, what you see around you is the last step. It's the last step. And I was raised exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. So I had to recondition. I had to get in environments like this. I had to get in communities like this. And I realized, oh my gosh, achieving goals was so much easier when I understood this, when I wasn't trying to control and grip and micromanage the process. Money's no different, right? Money's no different. So we'll talk about that more today. Okay, these are great questions. How do you know it's a good investment towards your goals? Okay, Jill, let's actually try to do that in open coaching. What are the signs? Well, actually, no, Jill, what I would say is, what would the version of you at the end result do? That's how you know. I would say I always follow, this feels expansive to me. So does it feel expansive to me? And then what would the version of me at the end goal do? And then you reverse engineer. And I can give you some more custom feedback, perhaps at the end with open coaching towards what you're asking about. What are the signs you're on the right track? Angela, with money specifically, or with your goal, that it's happening, you feel better about it. So it hasn't happened yet, but you feel better and you're getting nudges. I always think of it as nudges because, again, once the subconscious has accepted an idea, you're going to start to get ideas of things you could do, actions that you can take. They often won't be logical. You won't see the full picture. It won't be like, well, that's not a linear process necessarily. They will usually feel, it'll be small. It may feel uncomfortable to the present version of you. So when I had my first financial quantum leap, one of the things I was nudged to do was launch a group coaching program. I felt uncomfortable about working with a group of women. Believe it or not, there was part of me that felt uncomfortable with that. I had to get way out of my comfort zone to launch that, but it was a nudge. So that's it. You feel better and you're taking different types of action towards your goal than the old you would have done. Hopefully that makes sense. So great questions, y'all. This is amazing. And keep popping stuff in the chat, and I will try to answer as much of it as we go. So how do we know if we're struggling in the money area? Now, I don't like the word struggle. I actually really don't like the word struggle. Let's just say, how do we know that there's an opportunity for growth here for you? It's pretty clear, right? One, you're charging too little. You put up with clients who don't treat you well, don't respect you. You aren't making the money you desire consistently. So that's one. You feel nervous about money. You feel unworthy of money. Again, we talked about this yesterday, but your level of income will never exceed your level of self-worth. So in order for me to go from 6 to 7 figures so quickly in sales, I realized I felt unworthy of 7 figures. So we're going to talk today about the energy behind that, but I had to practice feeling worthy until it felt normal and natural. Excuse me, until it felt like an of course, but it wasn't an overnight. And I didn't start there, and it didn't feel comfortable. In any new goal that I set now, there is normally a process I have to do of like, yes, this is normal. Yes, this is natural. Right. So we continuously get to do this work. So what I want to share here, actually, let me pause before I go any deeper. Any awarenesses around that? Are you all like, yep, I feel those. There's definitely at least one of those where I see I could grow. You know, I'm assuming most people here want to make more money. And also there's nothing wrong with that. And that's actually really good because I know just by very nature of you being here, you are a good human being and you need to have all of the money that you can use in order to fulfill your highest purpose on this planet. Like it's really important that you have that. So let's talk about some money blocks and releasing them. It's so awesome when more feels natural. Yes, yes. And that's the power of this work. Okay, let me share my screen here. I had 3, and then I was like, no, I need a bonus for you. So there's actually 4 because I couldn't quite stop there. So 3 most common money blocks that I see for clients, and I'll give you some things to be thinking about in terms of how to release them. Number 1, actually, this is not so much a money block. This is more like, this is the thing about money blocks, I should say. So money blocks are not actually about money. Isn't it so interesting? So some of you were here from the workshop that we did with Michelle's coaches a couple of weeks ago. So we talked about this. This may be a bit of a refresher. Some of you who are in our programs already, you may have heard me speak to this, but really be open to what I share here, because this is so powerful. So we all have a relationship with money, right? Now, it may be a really supportive, empowering relationship. It may be a relationship where if it was a human being, you would be like, this is abusive. What's going on? This isn't right. So my relationship with money for so long was, no matter what was there, I was always in anxiety and fear about it leaving. I never felt good enough to make what I actually wanted to make. I was anxious and nervous about it. I felt like I had to be perfect for it. And so it always felt like this weird, like nebulous thing out there that I couldn't figure out. So when I started thinking about my relationship with money as an actual human being, and I made money a human in my life, I started to get very clear on weird ways I was showing up with it, that if it were a human being, it would be responding to me exactly how it was responding to me in my life. So nervous and fearful, it wasn't going to be there for me. Anxious, even when it was there, are you going to stay? Right? Like, how is a human being going to be in your life if you're in that energy? They're probably going to be like, I like you a lot. You're cool. I want to hang out with you, but you're a little needy. You're a little clingy. You're a little dependent. So I'm going to give you some space until you figure this stuff out. So a great question for you to ask yourself after this would be, how do you feel that you need to show up, to perform, to be in order to receive money? And how do you feel that money relates to you? So I had a major awareness years ago working with a mentor on this particular area, um, about the root of how we relate to money and where a lot of these blocks come in. So the way that you feel you need to relate to money in order for it to be there in your life will mirror the way that you felt you needed to show up with your parents or your primary caregivers in order to be safe. So money and our relationship with our parents are both about safety and security. Now, to whatever extent you did or did not have that feeling of safety and security in your household growing up, you will then go on to, typically, unless you do this work, create that same type of dynamic with money without even realizing it. So growing up, and how much do I want to share? Growing up, I was in a lot of fear about a parent leaving. And later on, my parents did go on to divorce and leave. But I remember feeling like, if I can just be good enough, if I can be funny enough, if I can be perfect enough, if I can be pretty enough, you'll stay. And so, that didn't happen. And my parents are actually both, I think they're married to great people now. But then that same dynamic took place with money, right? So really getting clear on that. And then you can start to create a different relationship with money. And because the energy in which we do a thing influences the outcome of the thing, if we go into our relationship with money with gratitude, appreciation, abundance, love, open energy, we're going to get that back in how money relates to us. It's all a relationship. It's all a relationship. There's also just the awareness of so much conditioning in society and from maybe well-meaning parents about scarcity and not enough, excuse me, not enoughness. And so much of this conditioning comes in early, again, ages 0 to 7. You're being programmed with a set of programs that will rule your life unless you decide to shift them. So if you heard parents arguing about money, if you heard them say there's not enough, if you had that lived experience of not enough, you will continue to perpetuate that unless and until you develop a different relationship with money. And by the way, if you think you are not in money scarcity energy, number one, beautiful, but check in. Are you in any sort of time scarcity? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel behind? Do you feel like there's not enough? because if you are in time scarcity, you are in money scarcity. So there's a whole other level of abundance you could tap into if you worked on that piece as well. Let me just check the chat here. Big insights. I'd never thought of it this way. Good. That is the goal today. We want as many big insights as possible. So you have to craft a new relationship with money and separate the two. So we're going to separate the way you felt you needed to be with your primary caregivers growing up in order to receive love, be safe, be seen, be heard. And that gets to be its relationship. And then your relationship with money gets to be totally different. So what is money is agnostic. Let me stop my screen share here for a minute. What is money? Money is a tool. Money is agnostic. It is a tool. It will relate to you however you relate to it, because you're going to be bringing that energy into the relationship. So the way that the way I started to shift it, and actually Ken Honda, I don't know if any of you follow Ken, but he's a great money mentor from, where is he? Asia, Japan, I think. Debbie, type it in the chat. I don't, but yeah, the way he talks about it is welcoming the money in, right? Receiving the money, the same way that you would receive someone at, Japan, thank you. The same way you would receive someone at your front door, right? Happy money. Yeah, exactly. So the way I would think about it, if you want to multiply the money that's flowing in your business and your sales career, every dollar that comes in, no matter how much or how little right now, welcome it the same way that you would welcome a friend coming into your door. And think about it too, like a soldier that you get to put to work. And so this is how I think about it, is like every single dollar in my bank account, every single sale, first of all, it's like we focus on the people, right? And the money is just the byproduct. But that's a soldier that you get to put to work for you. And if you had 100 soldiers, if you had 10,000 soldiers, if you had 1,000,000 soldiers, no matter what, you'd be like, damn, I get to do a lot with this, right? So we bless and multiply. That's how we do it. So this is it's like the observer effect in quantum physics, right? If you look at what you have and you say it's not enough, you're going to keep getting not enough. But if you look at what you have and you say, thank you, more please, you're going to receive more. But we can keep ourselves in these holding patterns of not enoughness by continually looking at what we have as not enough. This is the law of sufficiency and abundance. You always have what you need to get to where you want to go next. It may not be everything that you need, but you don't actually need it because you don't have it yet and you're still okay. So if we can change it from an I need this to a I desire this, this would be nice, I would love this, we can actually loosen some of the grip that we have on it. But the more that you look at everything that you have right now with gratitude, with appreciation, the more it will grow. Julie is saying lack of money because of a lack of vision. I mean, it can be so many different things, Julie. The other important thing about money, and I think I have this maybe somewhere else for you today, but money itself is not the vision. We don't want to make money itself the vision. Money is the how of the vision. So especially if we're feeling gunked up about creating a certain income level or a revenue target or sales, right, I'd say take your focus off the money so much and focus on what's the vision. Actually, I think this is exactly what I'm talking about next. So thank you for taking me up there. Who am I serving? How is this helping? And then the money is just money is meant to be a how. And money will flow most powerfully in your business and your life when you're using it for your expansion and for your growth, because that's actually what you came here for. Vision equals fulfilling our purpose. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. You just helped me teach like half of the next part of the lesson. So let me share my screen. We'll go back in here, focusing on the money. So thank you. So again, money is the effect, not the cause. So if we want money, more money, we can actually shift the focus to just opportunities. What we really want is more opportunities. We want to generate and create more opportunities in our lives. And this is how abundant people think. They actually think more about how can I create more impactful, high-level opportunities. And so what I would journal on and get clear on is what sort of opportunities would I love? And so for me, when I was thinking about this a long time ago, it was like, I want to have opportunities to be with amazing people, having exciting conversations, providing incredible service, to be able to speak and train and coach on this work for incredible clients around the world, to be able to give and serve of my gifts, help people come up with solutions and think differently and think bigger than they were thinking before. So if we can make it not so much about the money and focus more on the opportunities that we're seeking, you'll feel a shift and your relationship with it should get easier. Does that resonate with anyone? Okay, good. I'm seeing like just a few faces because of how I got it set up right now. So no pressure, Debbie, Angela, or Toral. You're the three I see on the screen right now. So, okay, beautiful. Third thing that will block money, trying to control or micromanage the flow. Trying to control or micromanage the flow. We talked about this before. The energy in which we do a thing determines the outcome of the thing. So we have been taught to be so in fear with money, like so in fear. And especially, I think for women, we have been taught that we cannot make a mistake with money, right? And I used to live this way, and I would grip and I want you to literally look at my hand. Like, how are you going to receive anything if your hand is like this? It was all scarcity. It was all control. If I would spend money, I'd feel guilty and ashamed. When I received it, I'd be like, yay, but is there going to be any more? And then I would overanalyze every purchase. So okay, I'm going to give as much value as possible with this in the time we have. When we do the inner work, and that's why we start with the mind over matter quadrant, and really tune into what is it that you want to create with your career? What is your most abundant life? Not mine, not Akil's, not Sarah's, not somebody else's, but what is your most abundant life? And then what resources are needed for that, for you to live that fullest expression of you in this lifetime? Then when we're making purchases and investments and when we're flowing money from that place of alignment, of expanding your life, everything shifts. Money just, again, it gets to be the how, but it's not the end goal. It's not the dictator of your life. Money is meant to be the servant, not the master. You need to step back into the driver's seat in your life and become the master and use the servant to fulfill the highest good in your life. And I don't care what that is. For me, that could be you want to go buy a pair of Louboutins because they feel really good, or you want to go give a $10,000 check to a charity. I like to do both, right? So, but getting past this fear of making a mistake, some analogies that have been helpful. I had a mentor once use the analogy of broccoli. And she said, or this is more about the fear of if I use it, is there going to be any more? And she said, I want you to think about what it's like when you're cooking dinner and you have a recipe that requires broccoli. You go to the fridge, you take out the broccoli, you get it, you use it, you chop it up for the soup or whatever, and then you just go to the store and get some more. You're not freaking out about it. You're not like, oh, is there ever going to be any more broccoli? I don't know. Am I worthy of more broccoli? Am I deserving of more broccoli? So I'm not saying with all of this, like, I'm not saying go on a binge and go buy a bunch of stuff you don't care about. That's not healthy money relationship either. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when there is something that's going to expand you, that is aligned, that feels right to you in your soul, there is always more money. There is always more money. So we have to shift in, and the way that we have it flow to us energetically is we use it for the highest purpose. And there's also no, I'm going to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but hopefully this will make sense. I don't think that you can make mistakes. I think you can learn. I think you can say, oh, I wouldn't do that one again. But another mentor used the analogy of any great musician that you listen to, they had to play some wrong notes before they got really good at whatever their instrument is. So why do we feel like we cannot try something with our money and try something that feels intuitively guided, that feels aligned, and be okay, right? If you've made an investment in the past or you've done something that didn't turn out the way you thought and it was intuitively guided, it just hasn't played itself all the way out yet. That's all it is. So these are the three. And then your bonus is, and I don't have a slide for this. As I was preparing this today, I was like, I want to make sure we get this one. Something that will block money is not showing up as the version of you who earns the amount of money that you desire. So a great question that you could journal on and reflect on after this would be, what amount do I desire? And then who would receive that amount? How would she show up? How would she think? How would she feel? How would she act? How would she dress? How would she speak? And so, and a really good awareness too is, are your thoughts right now focused on how can I get more money? How can I get more clients? Not from a place of service, but from a place of scarcity. I'm seeing some heads nodding, so thank you for the honesty there. The version of you at your goal accomplished, not thinking that, right? What is she thinking? She's thinking about, whew, how can I go serve all these people? How can I make this better? Thank you for what I've received. How can I improve this? How can I elevate this? What sort of things do I need to have in place to onboard all these clients? So this is we talked about this a little bit yesterday, this concept of thinking from the end versus of the end, and decision-making from the end. So if you want to get some massive awareness about where am I not yet showing up in alignment with my goals, just pay attention to the thoughts that you would not be thinking if you were at your end destination, and then start writing them down, because those are the old neural pathways, the old thoughts, the old beliefs that we simply want to become aware of, and then create a new thought pattern there for you. So we start practicing this. Now that I'm here, here's how I'm thinking. So like Akil, now that I've got my Airbnb, wow, I'm so excited for these renters. Here's what I'm doing next. This is actually how we quantum leap, is we go to the next place. And then we think from this place, what am I thinking about next? It's fun. You can play with time a bit with this, and you can actually compress time towards your goals when you start doing this. But then the key is you have to also be that person. So you start daily focusing on, who is the owner of this company, right? Who is this person on the leaderboard? Who is this person on the award strip? How am I showing up? How am I thinking? How am I feeling? How am I acting? Does this make sense? Do you all have questions on any of this? Are you with me? I'm seeing a lot in the comments. I'm just scrolling to the bottom. And from what place? Mm-hmm. What do I want? Dream and really answer the questions of what do I want? Hey, Cindy, did you have a question? I just saw you. Oh, you're way back. Good to see you. Do you have a cute little with you today? I love seeing the littles. We're having a little bit of a hard time hearing you. Sorry. But we're so glad that you're here. Good to see you. Thank you for coming on camera. Let's see here. What do I really want? I'm just saying from what Bridget shared here, Catalyst and Challenge. I know the gateway to all the things. Yes. When you set goals and are able and receive money from that soul place, so like, this is what I really want, not what I think I should be doing, not what will impress other people, you'll find far greater flow and alignment in everything that you're doing. So yeah, good. Okay, let's do the secret lesson towards your goals. But that is so that is that. So questions on any of this? I'm just checking chat. I'm so glad that this piece is resonating. Julie, I've been practicing shopping in my head. I'm hunting up new wardrobe. I'm hanging with Charitable Org to get more. Beautiful. That's it. You start naturalizing and normalizing it, and you start thinking from that place, and it will happen. Debbie, quick question. Yes, go for it.
just quickly, sometimes when we know right how we want to be spending the monies, might the opportunity come up in a way that we were like, well, that wasn't exactly it, but this is like halfway there. Is it wise to go, yeah, let's do this. This seems like it wasn't exactly what I was picturing, but it really does feel like opportunity I hadn't thought of. Is it wise to just sort of refocus and go, yeah, I feel the abundance here. I wouldn't have thought of it, but I feel it.
You mean an opportunity to make money
Yeah,
or an opportunity to spend money?
well, and then you get to spend it. But like
Mhm.
an opportunity I wanted was to speak at that particular retreat, and an opportunity to came up to speak at that one. I never would have thought of that one,
Okay.
but maybe,
I would,
maybe, you know what I mean?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So so here's what I would say is I would tune into what feels expansive to you.
It's expansive.
Okay. Um, with that, the other piece that I would say is that when I'm going for something and I get not quite what I was looking for, to me, it's an opportunity to clarify my vision and to get more fierce and intentional about this is exactly what I want. So, again, from the end result, if you knew that you were speaking at this retreat, would you take the other one? And if you would, and you would do both, then it's like, okay, maybe, right? And if you wouldn't, if it'd be like, no way, then clarify the vision, right?
Really good.
So,
Really
yeah,
good. Okay.
yeah,
Really good. Thank
absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everyone. So let's do this. So I think we're going to still have time for open coaching. I want to take a few minutes to share with you some of what we've got going on and some opportunities you can get more involved if you would like. I would also love to see some of your biggest takeaways in the chat. I don't want to like get you too distracted during this part. Probably should have saved that for the end, but feel free, pop a takeaway in if you have it. And also I would invite you to listen in so that you can see if you want to go deeper in your journey with us. So first of all, this has been so fun. Have y'all, my Southern roots are coming out. Have you all had a good time? Has this been impactful? Has this been insightful? Thank you so much for being here. This is such an honor to get to do this work and to get to do it with you specifically as well. I genuinely appreciate and value the team, and I appreciate and value that you take time out to come be with us and to learn this, because I think the more people who can elevate our consciousness, our wealth, our worthiness, the more the planet is going to improve. So this feels like I get to do my life work and be here with you as well. So I really appreciate that. So from here, if you would like to continue to be in this energy, to have, I think it's one thing to know something intellectually, and it's another to actually embody it. All right. So if you want to learn how to embody this and not just hear about these stories and say, oh, that's cool for her or that's cool for them, but no, I want to have this transformation in my life, then I think you should get involved in our programs. I think if we talked over these past few days and none of it resonated and you're like, no, I'm good, I don't job, like obviously don't, it doesn't make sense, right? But if this is speaking to you and you say, yes, I would like this every day. Yes, I would like someone to be able to look at what's going on in my life, in my career, in my business, and help me apply this and know me personally and know what I'm looking to do and help me apply this, I think you should get involved in our programs. So I will, oh, I'm so glad, Shannon. I'm like looking at all the chats. I got to stay focused on this, but I'm so glad. But so I'll share a little bit about what we've got going on and how to get involved from here if you would like to. So everything in our programs is built on that foundation of the big three. So mind over matter, money, masculine, feminine energy. We like scratched the surface over these past few days of what it looks like. And then we layer very tactical, strategic coaching on top of that. Everything to do with sales, lead gen, discovery, presentation, building and growing your business, etc. Again, everything there is really customized to the members of our programs because we do attract clients from so many different industries. But so you've got lots of time in your program to come on and receive custom coaching based upon your goals to help you customize whatever method or strategy is going to work for you there. So what we look for, I like to be clear on this before I even share the programs. What we look for from our clients is, I mean, I think you got to be high vibe because we're a pretty high vibe group. You got to be committed to transformation and ready to do the work. And by do the work, I don't mean it's going to be a lot of extra time. That's not what I mean. I mean, you got to be ready to make the shift. You need to want the change. You need to want the transformation. You need to want the growth. You need to want the impact and want it more than you want your old limitations. We look for clients who are empowered. We look for clients who are decisive, who take action because we put a lot of love and energy into our clients and we're going to be there for you, but we need you to be there for you too. We need clients who are willing to get uncomfortable and who want to be more committed again to their next level than their excuses, willing to show up for yourself, for your next level, coachable, and then self-accountable as well. So if that is you, then we'd love to invite you to take your journey further. We've got two and a half things today that I'll share with you that are opportunities for you to get involved in. And what I'll say too is before I share these, because these are both group opportunities, if you are looking for private coaching right now, I've got like 1 or 2 spots available where I could take on a private coaching client. Send me an email, elise@elisearcher.com if you're interested in that. And we can connect there further, but I'm not going to talk about that today. So for today, 2.5 things I want to share with you. 1, we have an incredible live event coming up April 9th and 10th. So just a few weeks here. Some of y'all are going to be there. Who in here is going to, I see a number of you here who are going to be there. It is going to be incredible. You can go to elisearcher.com/mindovermatterlive. I'll actually do a screen share as I walk you through these options here. But we're doing it here in Portland, Maine, April 9th and 10th. I promise it should be warmer by then. Hold on, let me see here. Although I actually can't make any promises. Maine newbie here. It should be better than the past few weeks. But so this entire event is all based on the first quadrant of quantum sales growth, which is mind over matter. So this event is about learning how to rewire and reprogram your mind to create any result that you want. So it's going to be very hands-on. It's workshop style. It's intimate. So you're going to be worked with very closely on exactly what your goals are, uncovering exactly what the blocks are, and then how do we shift that? I also think what's so powerful about this work is you come in and you're like, I think my goal is here. What I see typically is people come in and they say, holy crap, I'm thinking so much bigger about what was even possible. Because again, when we're caught in that kind of grip of our own paradigm, what we feel like all of you who were like, oh, it would feel shocking to receive $83,000. I used to think that way. I don't think that way. So but I had to get in the energy of someone who would tell me, at least that's not a lot. I want to do that same thing for you, right? Not just with your money goals, although that's a lot of what we're going to be working on. Client goals, opportunities goals, stages goals. We're going to help you think way bigger and outside the box that you're feeling maybe limited in right now, or maybe it even feels big to you, but like we're going to help you blow the lid off. We're going to help you. You're going to get self-awareness on where the gap is for you right now in terms of showing up as a match for what you want. We'll help you close that. We'll teach you a process for eliminating limiting beliefs moving forward so that you can do that on default mode. You're also going to get to network and interact with a really cool group of women from across the country, maybe the world, depending on if some of my international clients come in. But it's going to be a really beautiful, powerful event. Being in the energy of a different environment, of a different space, getting out of the same old is, in my opinion, required if we want to really quickly shift something. Because when you're in your same environment, you're seeing the same thing every day. you're looking at the same, you're going through the same routine, you're continuing to show up as the same person. So if you want to create a different result, again, we need to show up as a new version of ourselves. How do we do that? We get outside of our typical environment. So that's part of why we're hosting this, is to give you an opportunity to come in and to be part and to be in a different space where you can be fully focused on you for 2 days, mapping out your next level, and then literally architecting the identity of who do I get to be in order to create that. And that's what we do for sustainable success. So that's elisearcher.com/mind over matter live. I think we've got 6 tickets left for that. And we would love to have you there. And that's a la carte event. You don't have to be a member of our programs or community already. But we would really, really love to have you. And if you have questions on any of these, while I go, you can type them in the chat. We'll also tell you how to book a call. And Kayla, if you can pop the links in the chat as well while we go here, that would be super duper helpful. But so that's the event. The next opportunity is called the 10K Club. And the who in here is 10K. I see so many of your beautiful faces. Some of you are like, I've been 10K, now I'm 50K. Some of you are in 10K right now. This is our signature program. I'm going to pull up the webpage for this. This is our signature program. This is for women ready to break 10K months and beyond. You can be an entrepreneur or a sales professional with this. I'll also say you can have any income goal with this. So when we first launched this about 3 years ago, I was like, I know I can get women to 6 figures. Like I'd done it so long myself. I was like, this will be easy. So we launched it really with the intention of women wanting to hit 10K months. But then we had women coming in and doing, like I mentioned yesterday, like 270K in 90 days. Or we had women coming in who were like, I'm earlier on, an 8K month would be exciting. Or women who were already at the 6-figure level who wanted to hit multi 6 or 7. But the content is the teaching and the curriculum. You can apply it to any goal that you have. So I'll just say that. But it is a 12-month program, and there's twice monthly live calls where you can come in, receive coaching, receive support. We do a lot of training on those calls. You also have the opportunity for live coaching with me on those calls. There's a beautiful training suite. I'm going to show you behind the scenes. Can you all see my screen okay here? So yesterday, Kat mentioned, she was like, I'm in here all the time. And that is what I will say. So this is not about you taking more time out of your day. Like, listen to this while you're working out. Listen to this while you're, I don't know, showering, getting ready in the morning. It doesn't have to be, I mean, I do think you should dedicate time to your success. I do believe that. And I believe we waste a lot of time every day on things that don't matter. So there's that, right? And if one of your concerns is, oh, I feel like my schedule is stretched, guess what? Number one, we're going to help you get more efficient. Number two, you can listen to this in normal daily life. But so we break down all the quadrants here. So these are on demand. I mean, frankly, I think the program itself, if it didn't even have any live coaching with it or any of the other pieces, I think it would be well worth beyond the investment just to have these trainings. So you can kind of see what's here. Method, 31 trainings. We are actively building out a lot more here too, because our existing members have a lot of questions, which is great, on like, how do I sell from webinars? How do I, build this email campaign? How do I sell from stage? And that's part of the beauty of our background and what we do, is like, we have done all of those things and done it successfully. So this used to be more, get on a call and Elyse is just going to coach you on everything. And now as we scale and grow, I want to create more trainings on demand. We're still getting the live coaching twice a month, but I want to create more trainings on demand that will give you what you need, so you don't have to wait for an answer from me on it either. So this is all method. You can see content that's in here now, but again, we're actively recording even so much more. And then, oh my gosh, and then literally hundreds of hours of coaching calls that you can listen to whenever you want. You will get so much out of it. And you'll hear other people being coached on these too. And I think there's a lot of power. Let's see, Julia's just saying that is true. I've been in several coaching programs. This is different, powerful content. Thank you. I think so too. I feel really inspired by it, but I love hearing that from you as well. And then again, the calls are all about how do we customize this for you. So you'll have plenty of time on the calls to come in and have things customized and receive personalized coaching on it. You get an event ticket. So if you join the 10K club, you will get a ticket to our upcoming April event. If the timeline doesn't work for you, we're going to have 3 events this summer, each a different theme though. So don't be like, oh, you just wait until later in the year and come to the same event. No, it's going to be a different theme, but you can use that ticket for a different event a little bit later on. So I know we're coming up close on April here. And then you get the phenomenal community. You've met some of these women over the past few days, and that has honestly been one of the best parts. Charlotte is saying yes, saying this is powerful. The support from you ladies is top. It really is. It really is incredible. So that's elisearcher.com/10K club. And if that's resonating, there's a payment plan option, $1,000 a month. There's also a paid in full option, which is 10K. Either one is fine. Both are available on the landing page for the program. And you'll also see on there that if you, Kayla, if you can pop the link for 10K in here as well, that would be great. But you'll see on there, there's the option to book a call. So if any of this is resonating with you and you feel like you need a conversation, you want to have a chat about what's going on for you, where you're going next, please, let's book a call. I actually have time on my calendar tomorrow morning. I've got like a good chunk of time I cleared off to take calls. So on that landing page, thank you so much, Kayla. You'll see, and actually maybe Kayla, if we can put the call booking link right in there too, that would be super helpful. We can book a time to chat and talk about what's going on for you, what your vision is for this year, what your goals are. We can talk through what you're looking to accomplish and how to customize this. Thank you so much for popping that in. Two final things, I think. I've got some bonuses for you this week. And I also want to share, let me share the other piece and then I'll share the bonuses. So we also have, if you are a woman who is already at 10K months or at the 6-figure level, again, can be corporate, can be an entrepreneur. We have a really beautiful mastermind that I love deeply called the 50K Club. This is a very curated group. Some of the women who are in the group are on here live today, and I love seeing you and having you in here. And it's a very special group. It's an elevated conversation. Every woman in there is going for more in her life, in her business, unapologetically. And the way that women support each other in this group is something that I feel like I've never seen. So it's extremely powerful. I am going to do a preview call because we're looking to see this year, like who's going to be in the group, who's going to be part of it. I'm going to do a preview call Thursday morning at 9:30 Eastern. So if you're interested in applying for that, send us an email elise@elisearcher.com, and we can hop on the preview call and talk through what you're looking to do, talk through the mastermind more and help you see if it's for you there as well. So again, just email us for that. That'll be Thursday at 9:30. And if you can't make it live, but you're still interested, send an email and we can send out the replay. All right. Bonuses. So I love just rewarding people who are committed to them. So how many of you in here who are in our programs now, it's like, it was butt clenching. It was uncomfortable. You were like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this, but you're really glad you did it, right? So I know when we're investing in ourselves, it can feel uncomfortable. I know the animal brain kicks in and is like, but this, but that, right? If you feel in your heart that you want to be in this community, if this feels exciting, if this feels if this feels like an intuitive yes, I want to reward you for coming in and getting involved in what we're doing. So we have 2 bonuses for you. I think I've got a slide for this. Let me pull it up really quick. Okay, beautiful. 2 bonuses to offer you. So this is a fast action bonus. So for enrollment into 10K Club and or signing up for the event, I would apply it to the mastermind as well. You know, we're going to be doing the call about that Thursday morning, and we can also have a conversation tomorrow if you want to book a call with me about that. But fast action bonus, we are hosting a live workshop next week, and it's a much deeper dive into money, abundance. You got like a teeny taste of it today. And so you will be included in on that. All of our existing clients, you're getting that as well. So just know you should have an invitation to that already. Paid in full bonus. If you want to take advantage, you're already getting savings if you do paid in full. But if you want to take advantage of that and get even more, then you receive a 60-minute private coaching session with me. And we'll honor that through the end of the week. So let's say, I don't know, Sunday, on the fly decision there. So we'll honor that through the end of the week. But the fast action you'll get for enrollment in whatever program is right for you by Thursday. So with that, so next steps would be, like, oh, I feel like I have so much more I want to share, but let me try to be quick with this. Next steps would be, you can go directly to the program pages. So elisearcher.com/10K club. If you want to learn more about that, get involved, take advantage of the fast action bonus. Again, you can sign up directly through that page, or you can book a call with me. The event coming up April 9th and 10th is elisearcher.com/mindovermatter live. You can grab your ticket. If you have a question on that, send us an email, elise@elisearcher.com. Kayla or I will help you there. We do have a funding partner if you need help with funding for your coaching. So email us if you need that or you want more information on that. But we are here to support you. I'm gonna extend it like 2 minutes beyond the top of the end of the call, because I want to hear takeaways, ahas, if there's like a final question that shows up for anyone. I intended to have more time for open coaching today, and I didn't. I'm sorry, y'all. I got going on the money piece. But does anyone want to come off mute and share what showed up for you? What are you taking with you? Akil, please.
Definitely just rewiring my brain to actually understand what is normal, and just being able to step into my better self. And I did finish your book. Definitely do plan on coming to those live events sometime this year, because I can't remember which young lady she was talking about, how if you go into the room and you meet all these different people, she wants to get in their mind and really understand how they think, and being around those people and those
Is
types
that
of
you, Penny?
attitudes.
Ah, she's here. Look, Penny's one of the authors. She's here. How
Hey,
cool is that?
Penny. Yeah, I definitely read your piece as well. Yeah, excellent book. Permission to Be Powerful. I went to California this past weekend to see my brother. I finished the book right before I landed in Georgia, so it was like good timing. So it was interesting. But
Okay.
I deeply enjoyed that book. Excellent.
Oh, so good. Isn't it fun? I love the synchronicities. We would love to have you at an event. That's brilliant. Anyone else? We got time for maybe one more quick takeaway, something you're taking with you. And aha, you can type it in the chat too. I've seen so many good things that have come through here. Penny, please. Yeah.
Well, at least I will just say, for anyone who's on the fence about, joining any of the clubs or just being involved in the community, I did say that. I said, put yourself in the room with the people that you want to be. And, that if you have to buy your way into the room, that's perfect, right? There's lots of awards and rewards and things out there, but sometimes it's what you invest in is where you reap the most benefit. And I've been in the community over 12 months now. And today I took away multiple pages of notes, because you're always learning. And even though some of the things Elise said, she has said multiple times over the last 12, 13, 14 months, they meant something different to me today. And so I love that opportunity to continue learning and to continue growing. And I will also share, Elise left me a private message this morning, and she said, Penny, it's been ever how many years, you are old. Then I'm about to celebrate a milestone birthday. You've been living one way. And so it does take more than just a month, just 3 months, just 12 months to move beyond. I can tell you that this past year is I feel like the most I've ever grown in my personal life and in my business. And so I'm so appreciative of the community, and it's just amazing to be.
Oh, we love you. Love you so much. Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful way to kind of wrap, is just looking at, for whatever you want. And again, if it's getting involved in our programs and being part of this community or not, but making decisions from a place of worthiness and realizing that however long you've been showing up in not enoughness, scarcity, lack, etc., like you've spent some time there, right? However long that is. And so to me, when we make the most powerful decisions for ourselves, it's from a place of, I am worth it. And I love and appreciate myself so much that no matter how long it takes, what the money is, what the, lack of circumstances are, right? All the excuses we can make, I am worth it to show up for in this way. And that was honestly when I've had my own transformational experiences, it was the energy of the decision that I am doing this because I am worth it. Even though it doesn't make sense, even though the money's not there, even though I'm afraid, I am worth it. And I want to finally feel that and see that in my life, and everything in my life transformed after that. So thank you, Penny, for sharing that. And I love Akil that Penny was right here. You all are incredible. Thank you so, so much. I hope to speak with, for those of you who aren't yet in our community, would love to connect with you further about how we can help support you from here. So again, please thank you, Kayla, for popping all those links. We'll also send them in a follow-up email to you. But we would love to help support you on your journey from here. So you all are amazing. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.